Welcome back. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. 37-7 the final. The Rams over the Jaguars in Week 13. The Jags fall to a record of 2-10 on the season. 4 consecutive losses for Jacksonville. The Rams snapped a 3-game losing skid. They're now 8-4, and they were 7-1 at one point, and certainly feeling like they are in the hunt, and they are in the NFC West and the wild card or the playoff picture out in the NFC. But all Rams today, an early hole for the Jags, Mike, with that opening kickoff return of 65 yards by the Rams. So the Rams started at the Jaguars 35. They had to settle for a field goal, though. That was a win for the Jags defense, 3-0. And then not long after that, a couple plays into the opening Jaguars offensive possession, James Robinson spun around twice by Aaron Donald and then had the ball ripped out just a foot from the ground. Jalen Ramsey recovered, had a little extra for Trevor Lawrence. They cap it 3 plays later, deep in Jaguars territory. 3 plays, 27-yard drive for a touchdown, Sony Michel, and it was 10-0 right out of the gate. And, you know, I feel like we've heard similar stories to that this year. Early hole, can't climb out of it.
Well, that's right, JP. It's got to be a point of emphasis. We cannot start as slowly as we've been starting. And if we do, it can't be because we're self-inflicting these wounds, and that's exactly what happened here. Look, you give the Rams credit. They made plays, but you can't allow that huge kickoff return to open up the game. And then, you know, look, we all love James Robinson, and I know Aaron Donald is as tough as they come, and he picked him up and kind of ragdolled him a little bit there, but you got to hang on to the football. And so, boom, you're giving it to him in point-blank range. Sony Michel they got a lot of push in the running game, as we've already talked about, and he was able to convert that, and you're down 10-0 in the blink of an eye. And with this team, JP, honestly, 10-0, it might as well be 21-0, right, in terms of a deficit.
It was enough to win today.
It was enough right there. The game was over. You know, you didn't know that at the time. I mean, obviously the Jags had opportunities to do some things, but yeah, it was enough points right there, self-inflicted. Now, as the game goes on, they're wearing you down. They've got superior talent, and they're probably going to win the game anyway, right? I mean, just the way it ends up. But at least, you know, you kind of take that initiative, that good spirit. You go into a game, you're all hyped up, you're jumping up and down. Here we go, opening kickoff, and then boom, it's like a gut punch, you know? And that this team just, we talk about it all the time, JP, no margin for error. It's not that they have a small one. There's zero margin for error. They need to be on the positive side of all the stats. Like today, they barely allowed a third down conversion for like 2.5 quarters. I don't think they allowed one. And that's just like an afterthought. It's a statistical anomaly. You know, they've got to do that. They've got to win the turnover battle. They've got to bust big plays. They've got to come up with, you know, key third down conversions. They've got to not have silly penalties. All these things to put themselves in position to compete right now based on what we're seeing on the field, in terms of the talent level and what the coaching staff is getting out of these guys.
37-7, the final score. Rams outgained the Jaguars today, 418-197, and they opened the second half with 3 consecutive touchdown drives. The Rams did. Stafford to Kupp, Stafford to Jefferson, Stafford to Beckham, and they really pulled away from the Jaguars in the second half. It was 16-7 at halftime. Jags offense just couldn't get anything done at all today. Certainly in the first half, they had that 1 touchdown drive. Turnovers again today. Hyde fumbled in the second half. I mean, that game was 30-7 at that point, but still mathematically a 3-possession game at that point, but getting late in that game. So, hey, turn the ball over. Special teams miscue early, and a Rams team that's up against it. That's a bad formula for the Jaguars to have any success. So now the trick is, you know, we've had this conversation the last month at least, and a lot of times this season on the offensive side. I mean, how do you jumpstart this thing to get anything going at all? And I don't think we've come up with an answer yet, and certainly the Jaguars have not.
No, and JP, when you watch the way the Rams played defense against the Jags in the second half, there's zero fear, right? I mean, they're running play action. It's like, why?
Right.
They're not even reacting to that. And then they're jumping every route they possibly can, and everyone's got the film on this. Now, there's no deep speed, and the protection today wasn't good enough to give Trevor Lawrence time to set up in the pocket and let routes develop down the field, even if you had those guys with the deep speed. So everything they're throwing between 5 and 10 yards, and defensive backs are getting like a 5-yard running start trying to, just pick off Trevor Lawrence every time he drops back. So, I mean, you're almost in an impossible situation here as a rookie quarterback. Your running game is hampered because your top guy is hurt, and for whatever reason, you're just not running the ball well. The speed isn't there. The protection isn't there. The defense basically knows what's coming on every play. How do you survive, never mind thrive, in that situation?
Now the question is going to be: can you coach that up? Is it possible to do that? And with 5 games remaining, where can you find? They've had to have overturned every stone you can trying to look for an answer here, and there's just not many stones left to turn over.
No, they tried Laviska Shenault in the backfield as a running back a number of times today, and he looked like he didn't have any burst. I mean, again, it's not like anybody was running for big yardage today. I'm not blaming Laviska. I'm just saying, that's something that people have called for. Hey, let's hand him the ball directly. Let's find a way to get the ball in his hands because it's such a struggle. Even the completions to these wide receivers, the defensive backs are draped all over them. I don't know, JP. I mean, it's not like this is a new phenomena here, right, today. It didn't just pop up today. I imagine they're doing their best to put together a scheme to open guys up, but whatever they've been doing hasn't been working, so it doesn't give me great confidence that they're going to come up with a formula now in the final 5 games of the season that they haven't found through the first dozen games this year.
Well, we got that going for us. It's 37-7, the final
I'm not
score.
trying to be doom and gloom,
it's what it is.
It's
what it is.
Matter of fact.
After a game like this where it seems like nothing seemed to work?
Yeah, it's there's not much to say. I mean, after a similar message like San Francisco a couple weeks ago, we got a lot more than that and just didn't play well and kind of saying the same thing. But we got a lot more to offer than that, and we got to do better. We got to figure it out. Obviously, if we knew the answer, we'd be doing it, but got to keep plugging away, go back to work this week. Got to get better. I mean, because that was, especially offensively, I thought the defense did a really good job early, and then we had a good drive, moved the ball down. I think it was 14 plays, 12 plays, something like that. But then after that, just couldn't get anything going. We got to play better. We got to move the ball, got to make plays, and trying to figure that out.
Trevor, could you talk a little bit about it looked like you were going to do a zone read keeper on the play that you tried to pull the ball out of Carlos's belly. Just a classic play where, the ball just slipped out.
Yeah, it was exactly right. Trying to pull it, get on the edge there. I thought there was a good look out there. Had blockers, so just trying to make a play there on 3rd down. Felt good about the decision, but just got to secure the ball. Kind of got caught on Carlos's hip, so I just got to make sure if I'm pulling it, got to get it all the way out of there before I start running. So just got to be cleaner there.
How much of those plays come down to chemistry, with the teammates like that in those situations at the mesh point?
I mean, that's something that we've done. I mean, you've seen it this year. We've done it hundreds of times. Like that just happens every now and then. And it's on me as a quarterback. At the end of the day, I got to make sure if I'm giving it, it's clear. If I'm pulling it, it's clear. And, maybe I was a little late. I have to watch. I don't know if I was late pulling it or what, but that's on me. And it's not a chemistry thing. That's just one of those plays that happen, along with some other ones today.
Trevor, obviously you want to grow as an offense, as an individual, as a young player. Are you finding it hard to see some of your growth through this stretch? I mean, it's six weeks of really not a lot of productivity offensively.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, like I said, we gotta get more going. There's not one thing you can point out and say this is what we need to do better, or we'd already have it fixed by now. But we got to really take a look at this, and along with the other games, and we got to figure something out because we got to play better than that. We're not going to win any games if we can't move the ball better than that. So it's on all of us. It's on players. It's on coaches. It's on everybody. We got to be better. So we got to look at it and watch the tape and keep going. We got 5 more games left. Can't stop here. So just try to find a way to get better, get ready for Tennessee next week.
I guess, are there some things you're pulling out that maybe everybody else doesn't see, if even the yards and the points aren't there, that you feel like you're still making some progress, command of the offense, or getting in on huddles, things that you can pull away each week, or no? Yeah,
I mean, I think obviously, I think I've done a better job taking care of the ball. It's one thing, but I don't really want to talk about the things that are positive right now. We got to play better. Even if there's a couple things that we're doing well, we got to do a lot more things well to win games. So
Was this, could you say, one of the more difficult days you've experienced in your football life?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good team. We didn't play well. We didn't help ourselves out, but, I mean, at the end of the day, you do have to look at that team, and it's a good team you're playing against. But, the way we came out at the beginning of the game, it was 10-7, felt good. Even going into halftime, I think it was 16-7. It felt good about where we were at. And then second half, we just were very unproductive, stagnant, didn't move the ball, and then just didn't play complimentary. But, it was a tough day. Obviously, when you get beat 37-7, it's not a good day. And it was want to move past this one and go get the next one.
After you tackled Jalen on the fumble, it looked like you kind of slammed your head into the turf. What happened there?
I don't know. I heard about it, but in the moment, I didn't know. I didn't realize that happened. So it's football. Things happen fast. I don't really know. So we'll look at it and we'll see. I'll make that decision.
Those last few minutes of the first half and coming out of the gates of the second, you guys have won, I think, the toss several times now over the last handful of weeks. Mm-hmm. I mean, can you guys do something to emphasize that time frame of the game a little bit more? Or 10-7 or 13-7 at the time.
Yeah.
You had the ball like 4 minutes to go and in good field position, I think.
Yeah, you're right. 13-7, good field position. That was when I think that was when we had the mesh issue. And then made it 4th and 6 or 7, had to punt and give them the ball back. They kicked a field goal. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. That is something we need to emphasize more. I think we do, but it's really important when you win the toss and defer the end of the second and the beginning of the third. Super important, those quarters right there. If you can get the ball back, at least get a field goal or a touchdown, and then you can double dip, get some more points when you open up the second half. I mean, that would be huge, and that was what we were trying to do there. We were on a good drive there. I think we were around the 50 when the mesh issue happened. So again, that's on me. Can't happen right there, but yeah, we need to definitely get better at that, because you saw even against Atlanta last week, we had a opportunity after the interception and didn't get any points there, and then come out and got the ball. I don't think we got any points coming out at halftime too. So that's something we definitely need to get better at.
Is there something you're able to do away from the facility to deal with all the frustration that you're dealing with here and on the field?
Just got to remember who I am, and just be the same person, regardless of highs, lows, whatever it is. Obviously, it's been a challenging year, but just got to be the same person every day, and that's something I pride myself on, and not get frustrated. And, we're all in this thing together. You got a building full of people trying to right the ship, and we're working our tails off to try to turn this thing around, and it hasn't happened as fast as we wanted it to, but you got to keep working and making progress. And I think this year we've made some progress, but obviously right now we're not playing well, and that's something we got to just be honest about and move on and start playing better. So yeah, I mean, but to your point, I think just like I said, get some time to myself to really evaluate and keep reminding myself who I am. Obviously my faith is something that's very important to me. It kind of keeps me steady through all this, and even in college, the highs, and now the lows and a few highs, whatever it is. That's something that keeps me grounded, and I think is important, especially in times like this. But yeah, I'm always going to be the same person, and we'll get this thing figured out sooner or later.
Your first look at Aaron Donald, who might be the best defensive player.
Yeah, great player.
What was it like?
Great player.
Seeing you probably never saw a guy quite like that. What kind of disruption did he present for you?
A lot. I mean, run game, pass game, everything. You just see that guy flying around. It's tough to block. Wouldn't want to be an offensive lineman going against that guy. He's tough to block, and I thought early in the game we did a good job with the pass rush, and we protected. We were moving the ball well. I think obviously is when you start getting down, that pass rush increases because they're not really worried about the run as much. So it makes it hard for the guys up front. So and that's been the case in a few games this year where we get down and then we have to throw the ball more, and we got to whatever, and the pass rush gets on us faster. Like, that's just something we got to stay in games. We got to be more productive early in the game, hold on to the ball, put long drives together like we did in the first quarter, beginning of the second, and that helps us out. But yeah, he's a great player, and just it's tough to deal with.
Was that the biggest adjustment that you saw in the second half because you guys were down, they were able to unleash the pass rush more?
Yeah, that's always the case. We've had a few games. I remember in Houston, first game of the year, and a couple games down the stretch, Arizona, today, where they know you got to throw the ball because you got to move the ball, you got to get chunks, and then they can kind of just pin their ears back, and that's always a challenge. But, I think that wasn't necessarily the reason we weren't moving the ball. It was just other things. And like I said, I don't want to speak too soon. I want to watch it and make sure I, know what I'm seeing and get with the guys. But yeah, we got to play better.
What is the season on a whole like? What has this taught you about being patient, whether it's as a human being, whether it's a quarterback?
Yeah, just you never know how things are going to go, and if they don't go as planned, you can't go off script. You got to keep, like I said, keep being the same person, keep going to work, and I have a lot of belief and faith in this organization, myself, this team, the locker room full of guys. I think we got a great locker room that we're gonna get this thing figured out, and you just got to keep believing that and keep going to work. You can't grow weary, and the season gets long, especially when you're not playing well down the stretch, and you just got to keep plugging in, and that's the thing I think we've done a good job of. It's obviously it didn't show today, but I think guys have done a good job of that, and you got to finish the season.
Trevor, how stunned are you? Is there you guys put in a lot of work during the week.
Yeah.
You practice it probably well. You feel good about your game plan. When you're sitting there, in the third quarter, and you have 100 and something yards and only a touchdown. Is there a level of disbelief that, man?
Yeah. No, there is. There's sometimes you're at a loss for words, and in a game like that, it's just can't get anything going. Especially when we started off, especially when you start off moving the ball well, and then something flips there. It's hard to put your finger on what it is, especially right after the game. We'll have to go watch it, like I said. Obviously, the turnovers hurt us. That's something that's always the first one at the beginning of the game that hurts us, then one later. So that's when you go -2 the turnover margin, it's already hard enough to win. But then when you're not moving the ball consistently, it's pretty much impossible. So obviously that, and then it's frustrating, but we're all in it together, and players got to play better. We got to look at our game plan. We got just everything, So you can't put it on one individual or one group. We all got to be better.
Thanks,
so
Thanks,
thank you all.
Thank you, Trevor.
Over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist. Waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovated.
Did you just talk about the frustrations of the day, particularly on the offensive side of the ball? Looked like you had a small window in that second quarter to get back in it, but then the read zone fumble just kind of seemed to sabotage it.
Yeah, I kind of felt like our guys were, obviously we got a lot of talent they were playing against there, and on the road, and all of a sudden we drive the ball. It's 10-7. Our defense is playing excellent pass defense. We're playing excellent field position, complementary football there. I'll find out what it was, but the average starting field position was we had them pinned down at most of the first half, and you felt pretty good about it. Hold them to a field goal, and it was 13 or whatever it was, 16-7, 13-7 at halftime. Man, we're getting the ball. That's kind of where you want to be on the road against a good team. Let's go and move the ball. We didn't do it.
Urban, how stunned are you just by the lack of production offense? You got to feel good about game plan going in, but it's like 6 weeks in a row where the production just hasn't been there.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you guys a lot because I just, I wish I had all the answers, and I'd give them to you. I don't know the answers other than I know this, that you're going to keep swinging and keep working together. Is there a confidence issue? Anytime you're not successful with something, that's something we got to fight through. Confidence is a result of success, and right now we're struggling with that.
James fumble again, and I think we found he was out for 20 plays. Did you bench him after the second fumble?
He's still not 100%. He's not practicing during the week. James is as good a guy, tough a guy, a team player as you got that I've ever been around. And your heart bleeds for the guy. Just because he's not able to do what he does well, and he hasn't been that way since Seattle. And he's not able to practice, but he wants to play, and he's still a very good player. And then you just got to take care of the ball.
Do you think you'd be better off sitting him or in hindsight?
We had that conversation as a staff, and everybody felt that he was the best option right now, even not 100%.
So if he wasn't hurt after the fumble, he'd still be back in?
Oh, sure.
Back in right afterwards? There was 3 possessions before he got back on the field.
Yeah, and he was. We're just giving Carlos an opportunity, and then obviously we failed there as well. The ball went on the ground.
So Carlos also had the fumble late in the game too, back on the field the next drive. So I'm just wondering if there was if it wasn't a benching, it was just all health with Robinson.
You'd have to ask Coach Parmalee. You know, I don't get too involved. Like I said, I don't micromanage that. You know, and I know he's been dinged up, so I don't know if he's back with the tent or what's going on. But I know there's injury involved.
Is that Parmalee's call or Devil's call, or putting him in or not based on injury or even?
Well, James is unique because he is fighting injury. You know, if someone's not producing and you sit them down, that's a whole different conversation. But this is really injury based.
The end of the first half, you guys are in a good spot. You're 13-7. You get the ball 4 minutes midfield. I mean, I can't imagine you can draw it up any better, right? Down on the road by less than a score. I don't want to use it frustrated. I know it's frustrating, but I mean, you got it right where you want it, right? You get the ball coming out. Is it baffling that you just can't seem to execute?
I don't want to go into baffle. It's just, yeah. I mean, we're searching for answers right now. And how do you find answers? You go to work, and we're going to go back to work. I don't mean to be redundant in coach speak, but there's nothing else I can tell you. Is it frustrating for everybody involved? Absolutely. Are we better than that? Absolutely, we are better than that. Do we have better players than that? Yes. So we have better coaches than that? Yes. So now it's time to go produce. And like you said, we're right there. It's 13-7, I believe. You're right. And then we have the ball. And then we get it also in the second half. That's when a team that knows how to win, right there. You take a lead and you play a field position football with them.
Are you getting concerned at all about the growth of Trevor and the development of him, given your lack of production and confidence as a unit?
I'm always concerned about young players growing. You know, he's a 22-year-old player, first year in the NFL. You know, he got hit too many times tonight. A couple times I want them to look at what happened too. I saw a couple videos, but I'm anxious to hear the results on that. The question was, am I concerned about his development? You know, I'd like to see everyone else around him and everyone else just play a little better. You know, I wish I could give you something more than that.
You talking about the Jalen play, by the way? You've seen the video?
I'm sorry?
Were you talking about the Jalen Ramsey play?
Yeah, I just saw real quickly in the locker room. I saw that one and I saw another one.
As a coach in all your years, you've coached many excellent quarterbacks, and many of them were very young. How do you keep him on track or prevent him from
losing confidence?
That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's part of the position of being a coach, quarterback coach with Coach Schott and Bev, myself, to make sure that all of us. And once again, if it was a simple answer, we do it. Simple answer is get him confidence. Okay, how do you get confidence? Have some success. And we're putting together game plans, and a lot of it is through the lens of the quarterback. How do we get this guy some success early on? And you know, after that nice drive, and he did a heck of a job on that drive. He scrambled, he made some nice plays, and we go down and score, and you're feeling pretty good about life, and then all of a sudden it goes in reverse again. First down was the biggest problem today. You know, first down and 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11, 2nd and 9 against that defense, that's not what you want to be in. And that's where I felt like that was, especially in the second half, that's when things went in a different direction for us.
You've had some pretty nice highs this season, and then you have a stretch like this you're going through. For you as a coach, what's it been like?
Well, I told the players just after the game, when you lose, and it plays with your mind. You know, you start searching for what's the answers. What can you do better? What can we do better? And I think that's where my mindset is right now. What can we do better? We got 5 more opportunities, and some opportunities I think to win some games. We just gotta. There's no simple answer. Everybody would do it.
Last one for option. The up-tempo run-pass option was a big emphasis this week. What did you see from that in this game?
I know we did some of it. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly how it went. I'll have more for you on tomorrow, I guess, or Monday when we meet.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Odell Beckham Jr. a 1-yard touchdown.
He's going to throw a fade to the right side, and that ball is going to be caught for the touchdown by Odell Beckham Jr. He beat Nevin Lawson in the right corner. Touchdown for the Rams.
Extra point also good, 37-7. That's how it sounded today. Frank Franzi on the call on Jaguars Radio.
You guys good? Dwayne, you've been through some tough stretches around here, man. What's this one like right now?
I mean, it's been, 3 games back-to-back where, I feel like really haven't had too much of an opportunity to kind of do anything, We kind of spotted them 14 points early, last 2 games, 10 points this game. It's been tough. I mean, we're just trying to rally and come back and, come back Monday, Tuesday, and just try to, turn this thing around.
At what point does it, when you say that same stuff every week and you have to go through that same stuff every week, at what point does it just become too much?
It's the NFL. We got to play the duration of the season. I mean, each week it's like we're coming to work every day. I mean, it's the same thing, repetitive. I mean, at the end of the day, we just got to come to work. I mean, we get paid to come to work, so just like you. So we got to just keep doing it, just keep going, keep fighting, and keep trying to turn this thing around. So.
You worried guys start tuning out though?
I don't know. Not guys aren't going to tune out. So I'm saying we're paid to play football. Like we're gonna come out there and do whatever we got to do no matter what. So I don't think anyone's pulling out. I feel like we just got to come together as a team and try to get a couple wins in these last 5 weeks. That's all we can do.
I'm sure you guys are obviously emphasizing the start of games, but do you feel like you guys are a little flat? Just getting it takes a little while to make adjustments. Any finger on maybe what's been a common theme in the last 5 out of 6 games?
I would just say we just gotta come with a little more fire, from the get. I mean, from special teams to offense, from defense, from the get we have to be able to come out and start strong, and that we haven't been able to do that the last 3 weeks, and it's been tough. Not much opportunities on defense to kind of change the game. So, we just gotta come together. That's all it is. We have to stay together. Don't get negative. Stay positive. Next 5 weeks, got 5 more games. We gotta be able to just finish strong.
What's the fine line between urgency to make a play and then pressing to make a play, especially with a team that I know you emphasize, every team emphasizes turnovers, but you guys haven't been able to get a lot of.
Right, and it's a big thing. Turnovers come, and they come in bunches, and as long as we play as a unit, they'll come. We can't press it. You press it, you get out of your gap, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? We have to just all work together at the end of the day.
You guys did a pretty good job of containing Cooper Kupp for most of the first half. Just wouldn't a second allowed him to get 7 or 8 catches on you?
Yeah. I would just say, the defense, we're out there for a while, and there's only so much we can do, when you're out there for 60-plus plays and you're just, back to back to back. Cooper Kupp's an amazing player. He's eventually going to get off. He gets paid just like we do. So, we contained him as long as we could, and I feel like our guys in the back end did a really good job.
If you could make a to-do list almost of what the defense needs to improve on, what would be the number one thing?
I'll say just starting out strong early. We got to start strong early. In the first quarter, we can't spot them. Even 3 points. If offense turns over the ball, we just got to go out there and stop them. We can't spot them any kind of points early on because that's what's been killing us. We get down and you can't really turn it around. So that's the checklist. We got to start strong and we got to stay together. Don't let anything divide us, and just stay together.
Juan, I know it's the other side of the ball, but you know how important the rookie quarterback is to this franchise. How much conversation does a veteran guy or guys have, no matter what side of the ball they're playing on, with him, making sure he's in a good place and trying to still develop through, obviously the offense is really struggling.
Right, he's developing there each week, and I feel like each time he comes off the field, we're just letting him know, we got you. You turn over the ball, the defense got you. Whatever you do, whatever, we got you. We got your back at the end of the day, and we know he's progressing each week. He's getting better and better each week. We just need, need to help, in the run game a little bit, be able to run the ball, establish the run, and then be able to, really start passing the ball around a little bit more. We just got to be able to establish a good game plan,
All good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Today for this Jaguars defense. 66 plays for L.A., 55 for the Jaguars today.
Yeah, way too many, JP, and much to no one's surprise, the individual stats won't sound a whole lot better. Trevor Lawrence throws for 145 on 16 of 28 passing today. No touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked twice, produced a quarterback rating of 71.3. Matt Stafford, on the other hand, 295, 3 touchdowns without a pick. He was sacked one time, a quarterback rating of 117.8. Sony Michel pretty much ran it down the Jags' throats for the tune of 5 yards a carry, 24 for 121, and a touchdown there. Carlos Hyde led the way, or actually tied with James Robinson for 24 yards. Robinson took 8 carries to get there, Hyde 9, but he did score on the day. Laquan Treadwell, once again, the Jags' leading receiver, 4 catches for 62 yards on 5 targets today. And keep in mind, at the half, no Jaguar receiver of any kind had more than 1 catch, and you ended up with 5 guys with 2 or more, but not producing big numbers, to be sure. Cooper Kupp had 8 for 129, which was only 16 less than the Jaguars mustered through the air today. Defensively for Jacksonville, Andrew Wingard led the way with 8 total tackles, although Nevin Lawson had 7 solos. Problem is, JP, they both play in the secondary. You don't want your 2 leading tacklers to be back there. Rudy Ford was your 3rd leading tackler. Rayshon Jenkins was your 5th leading tackler. So 4 of your top 5 were members of the secondary today, which kind of tells you how things went for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ernest Jones, the rookie, led the way with 9 total stops for the Rams.
Yeah, not good, Coach. If your secondary is getting all the tackles,
No.
that means it's down the field, and it certainly was, especially the second half of today's game. There's your TIAA Bank stats check, and it wasn't pretty today. 37-7, the final score. The Rams over the Jaguars. Will return with the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game. It's Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets, undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more. Jaguars Postgame is presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today. Official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Jaguars fall today 37-7 to the Los Angeles Rams. And time now for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Fred Taylor is out tonight, so Tony Smith gets the vote and a half to break any deadlocks. Mike Dempsey, get us going.
Yes, sir. Despite the fact that Carlos Hyde matched his illustrious 2.7 yards per carry from last week, I decided to look in another direction today,
idea.
JP.
Good idea.
There aren't too many positive directions to look in.
There are not. It won't
But
take long.
Look how far Logan Cook can kick that ball, my man. A 68-yard punt today. He averaged 49.4. If you've got a better candidate, I'd love to hear it. I will take Logan Cook, 5 punts for 247 yards on the day, and all of them ended up pinning the Rams inside the 20. That is actually pretty impressive for his behalf and for the coverage today. That's a pretty good feat, no matter where you're punting from, to have all 5 of them end up inside the 20. So Logan Cook gets my vote, JP.
It tells you the state of affairs right now for the Jaguars, for sure. I'm going to go, the defense as a whole just ran out of gas in the second half. They held them in the game a little bit, and, I'm going to go with Dewan Smoot.
Okay.
Because he has some stats across his line today. 5 tackles, split a sack with Rudy Ford, who you could also go with today. That was their quarterback hit. He also had a pass defensed in the game, got his hands up. So I'm going to go Dewan Smoot. He's going to be solid most weeks. That's what he is.
Not a bad
stretching,
game. No,
but it's not a bad
solid game.
Considering an individual game. They gave up 37 points. I'm not saying the defense was great today by any means. They were on the field forever, it felt like. But Smoot and or Ford, but I'll go with Smoot. Tony.
Yeah. I guess that means that I'm breaking the tie here.
I suppose so.
And I would say that when you give up 37 points and you score 7, that I don't know that offensively or defensively, unless one of your defensive guys or the guy that scored the 7, which isn't how it worked out this week. So I'm with Mike.
Come on, Tony.
I think it is Logan Cook. 5 punts, 5 inside the 20. It was a punter's kind of game for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we've seen plenty of those over the course of the last 2.5 months, heck, the last decade of football here in Jacksonville.
All right. So there you have it. Logan, I'll tell you what, I covered a Sun Bowl one time. It was 3-0 final score, Oregon State Pitt, and the punter was the MVP of the Sun Bowl that year. This is 37-7 today, though. Rams over the Jaguars. Logan Cook, the Jaguars Radio Network player of the game, 5 punts, 49.4 average, a long of 68. 5 of those, all 5, inside the 20, pinning them deep a few times today. That's where we stand. That's the Jaguars Radio Network player of the game. And if you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Back in a moment, the Baptist Health Injury Report. When we return, it's Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Hey Jaguars fans, tired of being late to the game because you're still stuck in traffic or circling the block looking for a place to park? Next time, join thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smart way to get to the stadium is on the JTA Game Day Express. Express shuttles run from 5 convenient locations, including the newest location at FSCJ downtown. Tickets start at just $8 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
As J-Tech continues to train tomorrow's technicians right here in Jacksonville and supply them throughout the Southeast, they wanted everyone to know that they are the biggest Jaguars fans around. J-Tech is super excited about this season. They are equally excited about the $6.8 million improvement of their facility and the program growth in auto, diesel, HVAC, marine, and RV programs. Come check them out on the south side of Jacksonville or visit online at jtech.org.
How far should we go? When it comes to the health of children, we will stop at nothing, focusing on prevention as much as cures. Working with community leaders, educators, policymakers to make every child's world a place for them to thrive. Going to the nth degree and beyond. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine. Join the journey at nemours.org/beyond.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Final score 37-7. Rams over the Jaguars in Week 13. Time now for the Baptist Health Injury Report. Baptist Health changing healthcare for good. A few names popped up on the list today after the game at SoFi Stadium. Brandon Linder in the late second quarter, a back issue, did not come back into the game. Tyler Shatley finished it out at center. We'll keep an eye on that as the week moves along here. Veteran center Brandon Linder just came back from injury, so we'll see how long this one lasts. Tyson Campbell had an abdominal issue in about the third quarter. It was back in the game later, trying to fight through it. Nevin Lawson came up limping after the Beckham touchdown toward the end of the game on the jump ball in the back right corner of the end zone. And then Barch in the fourth quarter, they were keeping an eye on him. He was limping around. That's not good news, certainly. He was the starting right guard. And then Trevor Lawrence took one to the chops in the fourth quarter, went into the medical tent on the sideline, actually came back into the game to finish out the game. But that one was a helmet to the chin, Mike, and that one will ring for a little bit.
Yeah, that was the scariest moment of the day, really, and fortunately Trevor was able to come back in the game, JP. You know, we talk about it. I think the most important thing we all agree in the final now 5 games of the season is how much development can Trevor Lawrence get? How much can you accelerate the process so he's ready to hit the ground running next off season? That's really what you have to play for right now, and it's a shame, but that's the facts of the matter. And you know, I don't think he's getting beat up on, you know, like much. It's not like he's getting ragdolled back there constantly. You know, he knows how to handle pressure, and he generally does a good job getting rid of the football without taking a big hit. Sometimes you're going to take one, but that's football, man. I don't think you can, you know, protect him unnecessarily. Let's put it that way. I don't know how much you can develop with the wide receivers' state of affairs here, not getting a ton of separation, the way the offense is being run, and you know, the at times lack of protection today, no running game. So I don't know, but I'm a believer that reps are better than no reps. So I want to continue to see Trevor Lawrence be able to play out these next 5 games, hopefully find some way to have some success. JP, how did this team beat Miami, who is now on a 5-game winning streak?
Well, they pulled off 2 50-yard field goals
there's
out of
that
a hat at the end and got it done from a guy who never kicked over 50 in his life.
There is that. I mean, but, you know, just the fact that you look at, like, wow, it's very strange, the 2 teams they were able to beat. I mean, Buffalo has been struggling, but, you know, great defensive performance that day. And
over-the-top defensive performance.
Oh, right. I mean, to hold them to 6 points, and then, you know, give them credit for the wins. You'll take them at any point in time. You just look back now, and Miami's got to be wondering the same thing. How did we manage to lose that football game? But they found themselves on a bit of a roll right now with Tua Tagovailoa starting to hit a bit of a groove. Unfortunately, the Jags can't say the same.
You know, we've seen it with this. It happens, right? I mean, teams kind of, you know, struggle early in the first half of the season, and then some teams hit a groove about Thanksgiving and get warm. And then the Jaguars did that in 2017, right? I mean, they were 3-3, and then all of a sudden, once Thanksgiving hit and December rolled around, here comes Blake Bortles and the Jaguars offense to go take the division and roar into the playoffs. I mean, some teams just get hot at the right time.
JP, Gus Bradley's first year as head coach, I thought the first half of the season might have been the worst half season I'd ever seen an NFL team play.
Pretty bad.
And then they won 4 out of 5 games. I don't know how, but they did it. I don't get the sense that that kind of run is coming for this football team. I mean, look, on paper, Houston's a winnable game. They got shut out today. Houston manhandled you when you played them this year. So it's not like the Jags have gotten better while Houston has fallen apart. The Jags may be worse than they were in the opener. And, the Jets are very competitive. They lost today, but they were, able to put up 18 points, which is a lot more than Jacksonville's been capable of. Tennessee has generally had their number. I don't know. I don't know where they're going to find any kind of rhythm. I'll take the losses. The win-loss record at this point doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But wouldn't it be great if we could, if we're going to lose a couple, make it 34-27, right? To not great for the defense maybe, but we need to get this offense in gear, my man.
I was going to say, if you're going to win some games, you got to hold people to like 2 touchdowns. That's it at this pace.
Maybe
less than that.
Yeah, maybe less.
The way it went today, that wouldn't have been enough. It was 10-0. Early in this game, and that turned out to be enough for the Rams today. 37-7 the final score. Our final timeout. We'll come back with some final thoughts looking ahead to the Tennessee Titans in Week 14. And this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Shopping Publix with delivery and curbside pickup powered by Instacart makes getting your groceries more convenient than ever. It's basically the best thing since sliced bread, which you can order from the Publix bakery. You can also get fresh meats and cheeses from the deli, delicious produce, and Publix premium ice cream, all without having to leave your couch or car. Orders are available in as little as 2 hours. Prices vary from in-store. Fees, tips, and taxes may apply. Subject to terms and availability. Visit Publix.com/shop. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
Jaguars fans, let's team up to make a difference with Selfies for Change. For every home game at TIAA Bank Field this season, your game day selfie with a Jaguars player can unlock a donation to the Jaguars Foundation in support of a good cause. Visit jaguars.com/selfies for change to learn more about the impact of your photo and to locate a selfie kiosk at TIAA Bank Field. TIAA Bank is the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars, member FDIC.
Proven IT implements a strategic game plan designed to streamline your business for maximum results. Make the winning choice with the official business systems partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Proven IT. Proven IT's technology experts use a customized approach to understand how to design, implement, and monitor solutions that optimize your business. Proven IT provides managed network services, document management solutions, office technology, voice and data solutions, and more. Visit IT.com to see how they can streamline your business. Proven IT, transforming workplace productivity.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Time for this week's Defensive Play of the Game presented by Kingfish Pest Control. And we'll go with the Jaguars' lone sack of the day, and it came when the game was real tight. It was a 10-7 score at this point. This is early in the second quarter with 11:47 to play in the second. The Jaguars trailed 10-7, and it was first down and 10 for L.A. at the Jaguars' 44-yard line. Stafford sacked, split by Rudy Ford and DeJuan Smoot. That made it 2nd and 15. It ended up being a 3rd down and 10. They got 9 yards and then snuck it up the middle for a 4th down conversion to keep the drive alive. They settled for a field goal in that drive to open a 13-7 lead, but that sack is the defensive play of the game today for the Jacksonville Jaguars in Los Angeles. And Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. The Tennessee Titans next week, Mike. And the Jags haven't won there in 4 forevers.
No, it's been a while. Again, look, on paper, you say, okay, no Derrick Henry, no A.J. Brown, probably no Julio Jones. Yet they had 2 different backs go for over 100 yards last week with Dontrell Hilliard and Deonta Foreman both top in the century mark. Typical Tennessee. They want to muck it up, play physical at the line of scrimmage. Jeffrey Simmons can wreck your entire offensive game plan if he has one of those kind of days, as he's having one of the best seasons of any defensive tackle in the league, not named Aaron Donald, maybe even better season than Aaron Donald's having up to this point coming into this week. So they can get it done that way. Plus, they just believe that they're going to handle the Jaguars, and they have consistently of late. So it's not going to be an easy one, JP. I will tell you, I believe if the Jags could find a way to put even 17 on the board, I think they could be competitive and potentially even win this football game, because that's how shorthanded Tennessee is on the offensive side. But you can't let these guys, Foreman and Hilliard, run roughshod over you like they did last week. They'll be refreshed coming out of the bye. Look, we understand where the Jags are right now. Nothing's going to be easy for them. So go out there and give your fans a little early Christmas present. There's no team you want to beat more if you're a Jaguar fan than the Tennessee Titans. So it will not, quote-unquote, save your season, but it will be a nice something to hang your hat on if they're able to get a W.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars radio network. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. For those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is next. We'll hear from NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks, and we'll take your calls for the next hour. 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. Senior VP is Chad Johnson. VP of Production, Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer, Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio, Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Brent Trent Padilla and Gabby Dalton produce our video for Jaguars.com. For Mike Dempsey and our entire crew, this is JP Shadrick saying good evening. Final score for the final time, Rams 37, Jaguars 7 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
It's time for the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks are ready for you to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show. Final score from SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles, 37-7. All Rams most of the day. They pulled away in the second half. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks joining us from SoFi after the Jaguars loss. And, Bucky, here we go again. The offense couldn't do much of anything. The defense ran out of gas on the field a lot of the day.
Yeah, it was very disappointing to watch. It's one of those things where the Jaguars are outclassed from the jump. They didn't start off the game well, obviously with long kickoff return, giving up, and then it just kind of spiraled downhill from there. And it was one of those things where the Rams didn't even play what I would consider their A game and kind of had their way with it. So just a disappointing effort all around. And it's just one of those things. I don't know. I feel like we say the same thing after each week about it, but I don't know, because I don't feel like the defense played bad, but it just are not getting any help at all from the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Bucky, JP and I talked about it, right? It's got to be a point of emphasis for this football team after so many poor starts that, okay, if we get the opportunity to make some plays, we can't be putting ourselves in a hole. And I feel like that's what they did. Okay, you can credit the Rams for the return, but you gave up a huge return. Then you fumble the ball, and I understand Aaron Donald is a violent player, but James Robinson's got to hang on to it. So the defense, like you said, didn't have much of an opportunity to do anything, and you find yourself down 10-0. I thought they played pretty solid in the first half. That passing game for L.A. didn't really get going, but it's same old story like we've seen week after week. They can only hold that up so long when the offense is continually going 3 and out.
It's hard, right? It's hard because as a defense, you want to say, hey, we can stand on our own. We can make sure that we can, if the team doesn't score, they can't win, and all of those things. But at some point, it becomes demoralizing when you look up and you go to the bench and it's 3 and out and you're right back on the field. And you don't have anything that sparks or changes the momentum. It just makes it very, very difficult to play. And look, they can talk about it. They can say that they're hanging in there. They're not discouraged, but it is discouraging when you're not scoring points. In a league where you have to score points to win. You have to score points. You have to be able to get more than 20 points on the board to win games in this league. And the Jaguars are simply not scoring enough points to be competitive.
And Bucky, offensively, they're just not threatening today at all. The Rams didn't pay any attention to play action, right? They're just running right to the quarterback. They realize that the Jags don't have any speed on the field, so they don't have to respect anything really beyond 10 yards. And so every route that was short, you saw defensive backs just flying up. They weren't getting interceptions, but they were right there. You're either making a ridiculously hard contested catch on a 5-yard pattern, which is not a good way to exist in the National Football League, or they're getting in there and getting their hands on the ball and breaking it up. What can you do? They tried Laviska Shenault in the backfield a little bit today. That went nowhere. If you're Darrell Bevel, Bucky Brooks, you're calling the offense next week, what can you possibly go to try to get defenses a little bit uncomfortable with what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I really don't know. I wish I could sit there and say, hey, man, they can just do X, Y, and Z. But after so many weeks, we've seen what this team has, right? There's not a lot of speed on the field. There's not any playmakers that you can lean on. And so the things that you customarily would do to try and get the offense going, you can't. And so I don't know where they go with this. I don't know what you possibly can do to kind of make this happen. And so, I think you go back to the drawing board, you try and find a handful of plays that you can use to get going. But, it's a team without a lot of playmakers. And at some point, man, it comes down to the Jimmies and Joes. And right now, they're not enough to be a very competitive squad.
37-7 the final score. Rams over the Jaguars. 355 NFL1, the number 355-6351. I'm curious what the calls will be like tonight after this one. Similar story, different week for the Jaguars, and we'll be here until 9 o'clock taking your calls. We are off and running. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and your calls. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
It's a force that can't be contained. Propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect. When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it. You make power plays. You pick your team. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7. Jacksonville.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Jags fans, we've got your Sunday plans covered. Want to watch football but can't make it to the game? Stream the Jaguars live with the official Jacksonville Jaguars app, so you never miss a moment. Plus, with access to breaking news, exclusive merch giveaways, and game day features, there's no better time than now to download the official Jacksonville Jaguars app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Location restrictions apply. Available for users in the Jacksonville DMA only. See app for details. Crown Royal's That Deserves a Crown program recognizes local heroes for making a positive impact in the community. The Jaguars and Crown Royal are giving back to those who served this season, celebrating these individuals with the ultimate VIP Jaguars home game experience. Nominate someone who deserves a crown today at jaguars.com/Crown Royal Promotion. Please drink responsibly.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back into the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks. Final score 37-7. Rams over the Jaguars. 10-0 hole. Jags made it 10-7. We're in the game. It was 13-7, 16-7 at half. And then all Rams. Second half, they pulled away, throwing the ball all over the place. Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Odell Beckham Jr. with touchdown receptions on 3 consecutive drives to open the second half for the Rams, and that was all she wrote. 355 NFL won the number, 355-6351. Mike, we got some folks waiting.
Well, we do. JP, you know, over the years in radio, we do a lot of the B-caller number or whatever if you want to win a prize.
What are we giving away?
Well, I don't know if we're giving away anything other than the first opportunity to speak, but Sakib is really good at this game, and he seems to get in first every week, so we will go to him in the order they came. So Sakib checking in with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, and Mike Dempsey here. Hi, Sakib. How you doing?
Don't ask. I won't tell.
All right. Don't need to know.
Let me say this. Shad Khan bought this franchise and held up the Jaguars ticket and say, I want to make this the hottest ticket in town. It's been the worst ticket in town, and Shad Khan is 110% responsible. I know he listens to you guys. I know Tony Khan listens to you guys. You have done a horrible job as an owner, hiring coaches that are uninterested to coach this franchise, and we are tired. We as a Jaguar fan, me as a Jaguar fan since 1996, is about tired of this. Nobody seems to care about winning on this team, and it needs to stop. And he needs to go in that locker room and say, it needs to stop. Y'all need to play, or I'm going to fire every single one of you. I'm tired of losing. Every year we have 10 losses. Every year we have 10 losses. This is getting to the point that Shad Khan needs to take responsibility. Be a man, Shad Khan, Tony Khan. Be a man for one time in your life. Have a good one.
All right, Sakib. Very emotional as he often is, but that's okay. Bucky, is there anything Shad Khan can do, and what do you make of the feeling that Sakib feels like the coaching staff is uninterested right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're uninterested. I would say that for Urban Meyer, I think it's probably very difficult. He's never lost at this level. And for a guy who has always been successful at every level, I'm sure he thought he jumped into the job and he would be able to come up with some answers to get him back on track. And I think some of what you see maybe when he walks off the field is just stunned at maybe the gap between the really good teams and where the Jaguars currently are sitting right now. But I mean, the only thing coaches can do is, man, you got to make sure that your plan is tight. You got to make sure you develop the players that you have. You can challenge the front office and general manager to make sure that they bring in the best players to upgrade it. But I mean, look, it's a long, slow turnaround process. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. And so I know no one wants to hear, hey, let's be patient. But the only thing we can do is be patient and try and be positive and see what it looks like on the other side.
Well, I can say this, too, about Shad Khan and his investment in the team. I mean, it's not like he hasn't put his capital towards this franchise, right, off the field with the locker room and the building that he doesn't own and that. He's spent on free agency, allowed that to happen. Now, you can argue the case that he's picked the wrong decision makers at times, or it hasn't turned out right at the end of their reign here. That's fine, but it's not like he's holding on to the wallet and not spending for players. They just don't have enough good players. That's the problem right now. So that's where they stand. I mean, it's not for a lack of trying, I think, is the point, Bucky.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you bring up good points. I mean, I think Mr. Khan has obviously poured a lot of money into the franchise, and he hasn't got the results that I'm sure he hasn't wanted. And so it's one of those things you entrust good people. I think as an owner, he's tried to do a good job of staying out their way, not micromanaging the decision makers that he puts in place and allowing them to kind of see their plans to the end. It's just unfortunate that for whatever reason, the plans haven't worked. And it's hard for a fan base that is desperate to see a winner to not have a winner or team that looks like it's competitive. And it's just one of those things that you just hope that it turns. And you hope that everyone gets a return on the investment that they want. The fans from an emotional standpoint, and Shad Khan from an emotional and financial standpoint, that he kind of sees a return on the investment, because it's been a long time since the Jags have been a consistent winner in the league.
All right, Saqib, as always, thank you for the call and your passion
tonight.
Hey, look, he's always passionate, man. I get it. How would you not be frustrated, to put it mildly, as a Jaguar fan, if you've been a fan for any period of time, right? So I totally understand it. Let's go up to the north side. D is up next here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, D. How are you?
All right, fellas. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Okay.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna be real, man. We all know who is gonna, take this L. I can say one thing. We was real competitive in the first half with the defense. I feel like now, right now we're gonna get the second round pick. I mean the second pick. How do y'all feel about getting the DN from Michigan, Hutchins? I think is his name. And then, or how y'all feel if we trade the second pick, either or, and I'll take the comments off the air, man.
All right. I'll say this. The top 10, Bucky, if it stood today, there's like two teams that have back-to-back picks in the top 10 somehow in the draft.
Yeah, I think it's the Jets and the Eagles have two picks within the top 10 based on trades that they made in previous years. So it'll be interesting. I say the good thing is this is a year that's devoid of quarterbacks in the top 10. You may not see a quarterback go in the top 10, but at the top of the board, I think number one priority has to be a pass rusher. It has to be someone that can impact the defense, someone that can partner with Josh Allen and give them a legitimate pass rush. When he speaks of Aiden Hutchinson, the DN from Michigan, he is everything that you look for in the position. And I think the conversation is ultimately going to come down to Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon, if he declares, which many expect him to do, for which one is the number one guy on the board. I would say, having watched Hutchinson last night at the Big Ten championship game, man, he has size, he has length, he's a great athlete, he's productive, he plays hard. There's not a lot to not like about him. If I had to compare him to somebody, he's very similar to Joey Bosa and Nick Bosa in terms of the way that he gets off in his skill refinement. So, yeah, if he's sitting there, and I know he's from that school up north, and maybe Coach Meyer will have some objections based on his Ohio State affiliations, but this kid is a baller. And if the Jaguars are able to land him, he certainly will help reverse some of the fortunes on defense for sure. And
let's, a quick look at the standings indicates with Detroit winning today. Don't write the number one pick off there yet, D, as that's still within the Jaguars' reach right now. Bucky, just as a general rule, we're not trying to get down to the nitty-gritty of the draft here, but would this Jaguar roster be better served by trying to trade that pick, whatever one they end up, 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, and get more draft capital, or if you feel like there is a premier player that you can get with that pick, are they better off just going that route?
Well, I think the main thing would be, like, if you trade picks, are you confident that you can pick the right players, right? Like, so if you go back and just kind of look at when the Jags have had multiple picks in recent years, like the Jalen Ramsey thing or whatever, like, do we feel like we got comparable value for what we gave up and giving up an all-pro player? And so I would say sitting at the top of the board at 1 or 2, the main thing is to make sure you get a right player. We can be cute and try and slice it off and see if we can get more picks. I think at the end of the day, man, you just want to make sure you get a 5-star player. And I think that 5-star player, when you're at number 1 or number 2, is easier to pick than when you move down the board to 10 and into the 20s and those things. So I'm more of the mindset, man, take the best player when you're there. If you're sitting in the top 5, get a top 5 player. Make sure you pick the right player.
JP, by the way, the Jets currently would have the 4th and 5th picks in the draft, the 5th coming from Seattle. The Giants would have the 6th and 7th picks because Chicago, they own the Bears pick. They're at number 6. And Philadelphia would have picks 12, 13, and 16. So there you go. The Northeast is going to dominate this draft in the first half of it anyway.
It's not like there's a great quarterback that everybody's going to trade up for either, you know?
No, there's not. But, I mean, that's the result of some of the deals that these teams have made, including, Philadelphia trading off Carson Wentz, and that pick is more and more assured to be, the more he plays, a first-round selection. Not that the Colts are complaining if they make the postseason, but there you go.
All right, we've officially gone to it. December 5th, 2021. Draft talk has started here on the Scoreboard Show.
Snuck into it a little bit. We didn't really put up a fight. So
through the side door. 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. We'll be here until 9 o'clock. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks. And this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are your heating and cooling costs extremely high? Do you want to extend the lifespan of your heating and cooling system investment? If so, Florida Home Air Conditioning is ready to help you save some money. Schedule your annual AC or heating system tune-up today with Florida Home Air Conditioning for only $59. Florida Home Air Conditioning, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 855-FLA-HOME.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
This season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink for football watching. Just look for 20-ounce Pepsi products in the cooler door at your local Gate convenience store and see how you could win an exclusive VIP experience at the Jacksonville Zoo and an opportunity to eat lunch with a Jaguars player. Eat with a big cat. Courtesy of Pepsi and Gate. No purchase necessary. Visit jaguars.com/zoo for official rules and details. Ends 12/31/21.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're feeling good now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now, bucket dunking now, namasteing now, popping a wheelie now, living lighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. And on Mondays, try our Jaguars Duval Delight Smoothies for $2.99. And you're roaring louder now, end zone dancing now, sipping spirit now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
It may be football season, but pests are in full force here in Jacksonville. That's why you need Kingfish Pest Control's $99 knockdown treatment. Kingfish Pest Control will safely eliminate spiders, ants, roaches, and more for just $99, backed by their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Kingfish Pest Control is family-owned with thousands of A-plus customer reviews. They're hands down the best pest control company in Metro Jacksonville and a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Let the pros tackle the pest in your home. Go to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com.
When it comes to LASIK, your eyes deserve the very best. And that's why more people choose Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialist. Just ask Andrea Michael.
The surgery itself was a breeze. During the actual procedure, there were no surprises. I felt relaxed and confident in the doctor and staff. Traditionally, I am not a wildly emotional person, but the day after surgery, I was able to see beautifully. And I was noticing and seeing things that I had never even noticed before. The detail was just astounding to me. And I even teared up a little because it was just life-changing that this was my vision now. This is the way I could see without worrying about contacts, without worrying about glasses. I had perfect vision for the first time in over 25 years, and it was a really cool feeling.
Meta Custom Vision at Florida Eye Specialist has the finest, most up-to-date LASIK equipment. Call today, 268-EYES. That's 268-EYES. Find out more at metalaser.com, the official eye care partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Final score 37-7. Rams over the Jaguars in Week 13. And this is the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Bucky Brooks. And your calls, 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. We're here until 9 o'clock, and they're loaded up, Mike.
Oh, they are loaded up, so let's take advantage of it. 355-6351. Next up is Rob checking in from Pittsburgh. Rob, you're on the Scoreboard Show with Bucky Brooks. Go ahead.
Hey, guys, I was wondering, there's 5 games left. Why not let, the rest of the rookie class out besides Trevor and Campbell play? That way they could get some NFL reps and prepare for the following season. You got to look at the bigger picture.
I appreciate the call. I mean, Bucky, what do you think on that? I mean, you still got to go out and put your best foot forward, though, and if they don't feel like they're good enough to get out there and play, that's a risk also.
Well, no, I think that's the problem. If you don't think they're good enough to play, then wire down the team. I think at some point you got to put these guys out there. What are we playing for otherwise? Once you're eliminated and pretty much out of the playoff picture, it's about getting ready for next year. It's about getting the young guys experience. It's about building some chemistry and continuity. It's about using the last part of the season to build some momentum. And so if they're young players, particularly like the Andre Siscos of the world and some of the other guys, those guys should be in the mix. You're counting on those guys based on where you drafted them. You're counting on those guys to be solid core players. Those guys have to play. The only way you get better at playing football is playing football. So those guys have to be on the field.
Yeah, we saw Jake Tafele get in there a little bit today. But I think Cisco is the one, Bucky, that you're right, that, they feel like they got to steal with him where they got him. Well, let's see if that's the case. I understand not playing Walker Little if you don't feel like he's one of your 2 best tackle pass protectors, because protecting Trevor Lawrence has got to be the top priority here. But I'm with you. We need to see and hopefully 1 or 2 of these guys force their way into a position where they get a little bit more playing time. Rob, thank you for the call. As Kevin just left the game in the last hour or so out in Los Angeles, and he's calling in all the way from the West Coast. Kevin, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the 110, hoping to get on the 101. My understanding, one thing we don't have in Jacksonville is all this traffic. It's crazy. But what I want to know, is Robinson hurt? He fumbles and we pull him out again, and it feels like we're going to ruin him. Every time he fumbles and you're done, it's if he's hurt, I get it, but I don't know. It's what's the deal?
It's a good one. Right, Bucky? He apparently was going to be close to a game-time decision. The word came out this morning, hey, he's going to give it a go. He gets out there. He fumbles the ball in the second play. He doesn't touch the field for 3 straight drives. 2 plays into the game.
Yeah, look, it's weird now. Look, if you're going down that hill, if you're the coaching staff and, hey, you're adamantly opposed to people fumbling and you're going to sit out, that's one thing. But if that's your thing, I would like to see it consistently done. If the guy's gonna mess up, they have to come sit on the sideline and where the dust at. Then that's one thing. But if James Robinson is kind of gutted out to play for you, and then he makes an error, I do think it's kind of silly that you're gonna hold him out for 3 series before you put him back in the mix, because then later Carlos Hyde
fumble twice.
So what is it that we're doing? And so if James Robinson is hurt, James Robinson needs to sit out. And I understand how important he is to the offense, but if he's not getting better, it doesn't do anybody any good to put him out there when he can't protect himself, or he's distracted by the injury that he can't concentrate, and maybe that's why he loses the ball. And so that's a decision that I would say James has to make. How hurt am I? Am I helping myself or hurting myself in the team by going out there? And then, make a decision based on that. But at some point, you have to think, if he's one of your pillar players, one of the players that you're saying you're going to build this thing around, you got to protect him from himself. in a season that appears to be going nowhere, let's use it to develop the young guys, put some of the other guys in, and let's see what everyone has as you kind of build out this roster for 2022 and 2023.
Find out who the ballers are. All right, Kevin in Los Angeles, we appreciate the call. We'll keep it here closer to home. Mike on the west side is next up on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, I want to talk about the game today. It seems like that we give away, some not really good players, but we give away some core players. And what I'm saying about that is today, we got to see Gardner Minshew come in and play a game with the Eagles in the Eagles game today, and it seemed like it looks like coaching with our team is not really good, because evidently somebody grabbed a hold of him and coached him, and he was like lights out today. I don't know, but you guys can take a look at that game and look how he did compared. He's a 6th round draft pick. He came in here and did pretty good. Then, all of a sudden he just went downhill. But I think I had to do a lot with being coached. But I'll take your comments off the air.
All right, Bucky, what do you make of that?
Hey, look, man, I'll speak to this. Here's what happened. Here's why Gardner Minshew had success up in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles are basically running a version of the Oklahoma offense that Jalen Hurts ran. It is the air raid system that Gardner Minshew played in during his time at Washington State. So it's easy. It's a lot of things that are like 5 yards or fewer. He got out to a hot start, and then the Eagles ran the ball 41 times. And so he did have a solid performance. But as we've seen personally down in Jacksonville, the more that he plays, the worse that he gets. And his limitations eventually come to the surface. And so it was a solid performance. But at the end of that performance, after they let him throw it around the yard, they put the governor on him. They choked it down, and they just handed the ball off, because there are some limitations when you have with Gardner Minshew. Yes, you could say like maybe they coach him better based on the system that the Eagles are utilizing. But I mean, I don't think Gardner Minshew is anything more than maybe a high-end backup when he maximizes his potential.
All right, there you go, Mike. Appreciate the call. JP, we got a few more, but I think we'll get them in the next segment.
Okay, let's take a timeout. By the way, the Houston Texans are officially eliminated from playoffs.
Yeah, how is that, by the way, because they have a head-to-head win over the Jags, that they are eliminated and the Jags are not?
I think it's some other things.
It's got to be, but I don't know what those things would be.
I think it's the other team, because they played somebody else, remember?
Must be conference record or so. I don't know what.
There's something strange. But they have a better division record. So
yeah, they needed to be eliminated after being shut out again today. They need to be eliminated. They needed to go and focus on something else beyond the playoffs. So I'm okay with them being done.
The Jaguars officially still have life, at least until through tonight or Monday Night Football. I think if a couple of team scenarios happen, that could be as early as tomorrow night. The Jags are officially done. So let's take a timeout. Plenty ahead. We'll be here until 9 o'clock with your calls. The Scoreboard Show, 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Dailies, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Dailies.
Great teams leave it all on the field. But with the powerful towing and payload that Ford F-150 delivers, you can take it all with you, too. No wonder Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck 44 years straight. The 2021 Ford F-150, built for greatness. Visit your local Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com. Based on 1977 to 2020 calendar year total sales.
It's not kickoff without the small places that make Jaguars game day big. That's why Crown Royal is turning game day into giving day by supporting communities that serve us off the field. Nominate a local community hero to win the ultimate Jaguars game day experience at jaguars.com/Crown Royal promotion. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Are you a Jags and a pet fanatic? Then enter for a chance to win your very own customized jersey and answer game day trivia live on the TIAA Bank Field video boards at an upcoming Jaguars home game and our Pet Fanatic of the Game sweepstakes presented by Pet Paradise. To enter, scan the QR code on the Sky Patio or go to jaguars.com/fanatic. Terms and conditions apply. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back to the Scoreboard Show. 37-7 the final score. Rams over the Jaguars in Week 13. The Jaguars are now 2-10, and we finished last segment with the playoff elimination scenarios. And as we said, the Jaguars could be eliminated as early as tonight, and it comes down to the tonight to the Denver-Kansas City game right now. If Denver wins or ties tonight, the Jaguars will be eliminated. Or if Buffalo wins or ties tomorrow night, the Jags will be eliminated. So whatever one happens first, the Jags will be officially done.
Don't think the Broncos are going to win tonight, but who knows? It would just be like that for everybody who's waiting to talk draft on Jaguars today this week. For Buffalo and Denver to both lose. So sorry. Mathematically still alive, baby, is where we're at, JP.
That's the rules.
That's correct.
The rules.
All right, 355-NFL-1 is the number, 355-6351. Add the 904 if you're calling from outside the area like Kyrie is from Norfolk, Virginia. Kyrie, you're up on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing today?
All right, what's up?
Good, man. Honestly, the only thing I was missing from this game was the theme music. That's all I can hear in my head watching this game. Literally, it was just an embarrassment. Before Trevor Lawrence let's just start from the beginning. Before Trevor Lawrence can throw a pass for probably like the fourth game this year, we're down 10-0 with 5 minutes to go, and the game is already over before we get 5 minutes into the game. Secondly, the benching problem. Again, Shad Khan, he needs to sit back and he needs to ask himself two questions. This is not even about winning this year. It's two questions that need to be answered. If they're both wrong, Urban needs to go at the end of this year. One, has Trevor progressed? Has Trevor shown currently this year that his progression has grown to the point that we know next year is not going to be another year where he's still learning and he could just turn it up? If that answer is yes, keep him. If the answer is no, time to go. Second question, has this coaching staff shown anything, even if we got the talent, that they can put them in the right position to win games? If the answer is yes, keep them. If the answer is no, get rid of them. Shad, don't make the mistake. Please do not keep on these coaching staffs for 4 straight years. Don't do that. We've done that already, and it's been a disaster.
All right, Kyrie, thank you. Bucky, how do you respond to any of that?
I mean, I think there's some truth to that. I think what you have to do is everyone is subject to evaluation. You want to evaluate the coaching staff and see how they are from a tactical and schematic standpoint. Do you feel like you had the best coaching staff on the field in the majority of the games that you played? And then the other part is you want to look at the development of the players. How did they look the first game versus how they looked at the end of the season? Did you see consistent improvement? Did you see a team that appeared to be on the rise? Did it look like your young players were developing to the point where they could be key contributors the next season? Yeah, if you have those things, then you feel good about your coaching staff. If you don't see those things, then you need to have a long conversation with Coach Meyer and try and figure out, okay, what happened? What's the plan? How do we get these things fixed so we can ensure that next year doesn't look like this year? Those are hard conversations that ownership and the coaching staff and even the front office, they have to have at the end of the season.
Hey, by the way, guys, the benching or whatever of James Robinson, Mike DiRocco, ESPN on Twitter, put this out just a few minutes ago. Jaguars coach Urban Meyer said that James Robinson sitting out 20 plays after the fumble was not a benching, but rather because he's battling an injury. DiRocco asked Meyer if Robinson would have been on the field the next drive after his fumble if he weren't hurt, and Meyer said, quote, "Oh, sure," end quote.
Well, that seems to be the complete opposite, right? I mean, okay, I got it. He's saying if he wasn't hurt. Well, here's my question then. Right. Why is he in the game when it's 37-7, carrying the football?
I mean, that's fair.
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, that makes zero sense to me.
Like Jim, we can talk about it and let's be honest. Let's be very transparent about the conversation. If Urban doesn't know why his guys are not in the game, either he doesn't want to know or guys are acting independently and doing those things. Whereas a coach is saying, "Hey, you fumbled, I sit you out," this and that. But all of those personnel decisions should be run by the head coach, and the head coach should know. Saying "I don't know" is not necessarily good enough in the National Football League when you're the head coach. You should be on top of everything.
And we heard on the broadcast today, Bucky, we heard Rick say that you saw James Robinson doing calisthenics on the sideline, like trying to stay, like he was ready to go. At one point, he ran onto the field, right, and they waved him back to the sideline. So, I mean, if he's too hurt to play, again, why is he playing at all? And certainly, why is he playing down 30 in the final 2 minutes of a football game? And it's just very odd.
A lot of it doesn't make sense, right? And so those are the questions that the previous caller had asked. Those are the questions where if you're Shad Khan or you're people close to the owner, he should have a line item list of things that he kind of wants to address. Like, hey, there are a couple of instances during the season where it didn't appear that we knew what the rotation was and those things, like what's going on. Those things have to be answered for. Like as the coach, as the leader of the team, you have to be on top of those things one way or the other, and you have to be able to answer those questions. And so, I mean, those are very legitimate concerns.
All right, Kyrie, we appreciate the call. Let's keep it close to home here with Al in St. Johns County. Al, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I got a problem with the announcers today during the game. They kept saying that with the Rams that this was a get-well game. And they kept saying over and over, well, it is the Jaguars. This is a get-well game. I got a problem with that. And then secondly, near the end of the game, one of the Rams players, he put his helmet right into Trevor Lawrence's face, turned his head sideways, no flag for targeting. What's going on with the NFL refs? Do they not see that? Or they just don't care?
Thanks for the call. I mean, that's one they missed, obviously. There's no targeting in the NFL, but it would have been a roughing the passer call. But, and then,
I thought the one they missed, guys, the right in front of the Jaguars bench, like this, by the way, let's make, for the record, none of this would have changed the outcome, okay? No. But Jalen Ramsey shoulder checks Marvin Jones to the ground when he's 5 yards out of bounds after the play is over. The coaches are right there pointing like this right in front of them. Not a thing happens. How does that go uncalled? I don't understand that whatsoever. Again, that would not have changed the outcome of the game one iota. That to me really stood out, I thought.
Look, JP, all those things stand out, but There's a whole saying that people treat you how you act. And so if you act like a bad football team, people treat you as such. And so you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get any calls. And other teams will bully you until you show some backbone and buck up. And if the Jaguars don't want to be treated like the way they've been treated by these teams bullying them and taking shots into quarterback, then it's on them to change it. And so, I mean, the only thing that they can do is if you don't want to get bullied, you got to stand up to the bully and you got to punch the bully in the mouth. And so until the Jaguars play to that level with a level of physicality and toughness and grind and grit, they're going to continue to have these things. And so that is a conversation that goes from the top down. Head coach, the coaching staff, they got to talk about that. You cannot allow yourself and your teammates to get pushed around on the field. And if all hell breaks loose on the field, then so be it. But you cannot allow people to treat you like that, because once they treat you like that, they will continue to treat you like that until you bow up. And the Jaguars haven't bowed up enough.
Yeah, I will say, though, as far as, like, the announcers, I didn't hear the TV broadcast of it. I'm listening to the radio broadcast. If they said that it's a get-well game, you would say that. Any announcer would say that about any team that's in the position that the Jaguars have been, not only this season, but perennially, basically. I mean, that's just the facts of the matter. You don't like to hear it, but that's the facts of the matter. The Jags right now, every team's looking at them and going, that's a W. We got them.
About
that's
the Falcons. Falcons last week.
Absolutely, JP. I don't think Houston won't feel the same way. The Jets will feel the same. They're all going to feel that way. So, I mean, the only thing to stop that is to win some football.
Yeah, I mean, there's no mercy rule. They're not going to hand out orange slices after the game and Coca-Cola free from the fountain. I mean, what are we doing?
Right. Don't be mad at the announcers. Be mad that your team has performed to the level where that they're considered an easy win for anybody on their schedule. So, Al, appreciate it. Yeah, go ahead, Buck.
Yeah. No, that is it. That is absolutely right. Hey, man, everybody included. We got to quit whining and begging and all that other stuff. Like, it is what it is. When you're not a good team, this is how you get treated. And so if you don't want to be treated like that, you have to change the narrative. You have to win games against the odds until people give you the respect that you want.
All right, let's get one more in here before our final break. Mimi.
No post-game pizza parties. No, none of that. No, we don't do that. It's the NFL.
Juice box. Mimi on the south side, you're next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Mimi.
Evening, gentlemen. I wanted to ask two questions first and then make a comment. Who won the coin toss today?
Probably the Jags. I think the Jaguars won it.
You usually, most teams defer. That is a good question.
Okay, so the Jags did defer, correct?
We're assuming
I think
that.
so. Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I wanted to first ask you, Bucky, maybe you know, when a team wins the coin toss, who decides whether they defer or receive the ball? And then I'm going to make my comment, and then I'll listen off the air. My point in bringing this up is that this is the fourth week in a row that we've won the coin toss, and it's been deferred. And what I see is happening is that because the opposing team has been scoring on that first drive of the game, and when the Jaguars come in for their first drive of the game, they're doing something stupid like fumbling, going 3 and out, interceptions, dropping balls. They don't score. So by the time the second drive of the game comes for the opposing team and they're scoring again, by then we're down 2 scores, and the Jags never do well on trying to catch up. But all I'm asking is that if Urban's the one that's making the decision to defer, change your tactics, Urban, and see what might happen. I'm not saying it's going to cause us to win the game, but at least give your team the opportunity to go out there and score first. Have a good week, gentlemen. I'll listen off the air.
All right, thank you,
Thanks
Mimi.
for the call. Appreciate that. I will say this, Bucky. I mean, they give him a 65-yard kickoff return. It was a 12-yard drive and a field goal.
Right.
And then a 27-yard drive for a touchdown. I mean, that's 39 yards of offense they gave up because of a kickoff return and a fumble.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I also understand Urban's rationale. When we look at our team, the best part of our team right now is the defense.
Clearly.
So you try and put the defense, on the field because maybe something good will happen. From a tactical standpoint, the reason why you defer is if things are going well at the end of the half, if you score and then you get the ball back coming out of the half, it gives you an opportunity to have a double score opportunity. So you can create some distance from the opponent if things go according to script. It hasn't gone according to script. And so if we did take the kickoff, we probably would go 3 and out and punt, and it would be the same situation, and then they would get the ball coming out of the half. And so I think Urban has just said, look, put the defense on the field. Maybe the defense can find a way to create an opportunity for the offense to get a short field.
Right, like you said, JP, they allowed 1 first down. If that kickoff return was out to the 30, okay, they get a first down, then they're punting, and it's the Jags ball. Yeah. And let's say you wipe out that first possession, okay, first time the Jags had the ball, they fumbled it, and like you said, they had a 27-yard touchdown drive, so you'd be down 7-0, and now you wouldn't be getting the ball first in the second half. So I don't think they're going to switch that up until the offense. Let's put it this way: until at least 2022. Because I was going to say until the offense starts firing on all cylinders, but
yeah,
I'm going to defer that to next year.
I was going to say there's only 5 more opportunities. So,
all right, thank you, Mimi, for the call.
All right, there you have it. Let's take our final timeout. We'll come back with our final thoughts. If you didn't get in here, the scoreboard show coming up, the 5th quarter is coming up at 9 o'clock. This is the scoreboard show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
On the road, there's a thin line between safety and tragedy. Don't cross it. Give law enforcement, first responders, and service professionals the space to safely do their jobs. When you see flashing lights, move over a lane or slow down 20 miles per hour below the posted speed limit. See lights? Move over, Florida. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles and the Florida Highway Patrol.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Get in the holiday spirit by cheering on your Jacksonville Jaguars when they take on their division rival, the Houston Texans, on Sunday, December 19th. The Jags are ready for revenge when the Texans come to town, so don't miss out. Whether you have a super fan in the family or just want a fun outing with friends this holiday season, visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 to buy. Happy holidays and go Jags!
Need pest control that's safe and actually works? Then look no further than Jaguar's proud partner, Kingfish Pest Control. Kingfish is family-owned and has thousands of 5-star customer reviews for good reason. Their high level of customer care and quality service is off the charts. They're the leaders in pest control technology, using the industry's latest and greatest pest application equipment and products. They'll even email a picture of the technician who'll be coming to your home. Let the pros tackle the pest in your home. Go to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com.
Are you tired of not seeing clearly? As the official eye care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Florida Eye Specialists offers the safest, most effective technology to regain control of your sight. With 9 locations across Northeast Florida, our dedicated doctors have provided premier eye care to the community for more than 20 years. Call 904-564-2020 or visit FloridaEyeSpecialists.com to book an appointment with Jacksonville's most trusted eye care providers today.
Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. 37-7 Rams over the Jaguars. Thanks for all the calls tonight. Passionate ones this evening, and rightly so. The Jags have now lost 10 games or more in 10 of the last 11 seasons. And they're now 2-10 this season with 5 games to go in this 2021 campaign. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks. And now, guys, it's on to Tennessee, where the Jags haven't won since 2013, Bucky. This is a tough one coming up this week. They're all tough, but this one has been tough no matter how good the team is.
Yeah, this is tough in a different way than the Rams game. The Rams game was about the talent deficiencies between the Jags and the Rams. This one is about the physicalness, the physicality, the toughness difference between the Titans and the Jaguars. And if you're not able to up the ante when it comes to the physicality and the toughness, the Titans will kind of maul you and mash you out of their building. So this is a week where the coaching staff is going to have to talk to the players about they're going to put the big boy pads on. It's going to be a game that is very physical. Whenever you play the Titans, that's kind of the game that they play under Mike Vrabel. And so we'll get a chance to see where we are when it comes to being in those kind of battles. But this isn't a talent game. This is a game that's all about the toughness and the physicality. The team that out-hits the other team is going to be the one that wins.
Yep, JP, the Titans are going to try to do 2 things next week. Hand it to Foreman, hand it to Hilliard. That's what they're going to do.
Right. Wow.
And I mean, that's it. And they're not going to try to trick you. They don't have the players to trick you. They're just going to try to beat you at the line of scrimmage, run it right down your throat. Both of those guys went over 100 last week. And, I mean, a few weeks ago I would have said, good luck. The run defense is playing pretty well. Last week, Cordero Patterson goes for 6.8 a carry. Today it was Sony Michel going for 5 yards a carry on 24 totes. So the Jaguars' run defense not quite what it was even a month ago, Bucky.
No, it's not quite what it was. And some of that is the fatigue from being out on the field all the time. But some of it is like that attitude thing. Other teams are saying, we're going to hit them in the face. We're going to run it and jam it down their throat, and they won't respond. And so that is one of those things where, look, man, it's a gut check. It's a gut check this week because that's how the Tennessee Titans like to play. They want to test your intestinal fortitude by coming at you in a very straightforward manner, and they want to see if you're tough enough to withstand it. And so this is a great game for the Jaguars to stand up and go toe-to-toe with the team that feels like they're the most physical team in the league.
All right, Jaguars are now 2-10, and, well, Bucky, at least you got to see it in person today.
Yeah, JP, like there's nothing like braving the conditions on the traffic, like my man said on the 101, getting all the way down there and seeing the tail kicking. But I'm hopeful after I lick my wounds for 24 hours, we got the 24-hour rule. We'll cast our eyes to Tennessee and see if we can somehow find a way to win.
We are on to Tennessee for sure. Bucky, have a good week. We'll talk to you, man.
All right, be good. Have a good one, Tim.
See you, Buck.
Hey, Bucky Brooks out of here. Mike, well done today, man. Appreciate it.
Likewise, sir.
Yeah, and Tony Smith back in the studio and our entire crew back at the studio today. Gabby and Blake and the whole crew doing a fantastic job with a lot of moving parts today on our broadcast. But thank you for joining us. And if you didn't get in here, of course, the 5th quarter is coming up next. They'll take your calls well into the evening. Final score for the final time here, 37-7. All Rams most of the day. The Jaguars are now 2-10, and this has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.